Alright, everyone, good afternoon again. Oh, we have new speakers, and very similar to what I talked about this morning from a junior high perspective, now we're going to get a complete new outlook on elementary school. And I don't want to put pressure on you, but I always believe that the elementary school teachers are more creative. So, go for it. Okay, enjoy and thank you for being here.
Hello everyone, I'm Lien.
And I'm Brendan. We're both from the US. Go on to the first slide here.
Oh, okay. I'm from Vietnam, and I decided to move to Taiwan. I grew up in Arizona, and I decided to move to Taiwan shortly after graduation. And this coming June will be 10 years in Taiwan teaching, pretty much consecutively. So I'm an old lady here. So my husband is from
Yeah, so I was born in California, raised in Arizona though. Funny thing is though, we both lived about 15 minutes away from each other in Arizona, but did not know each other until we came out here to Taiwan. Same university and everything, just did not know each other until Taiwan. Quite the small world. And this is our lovely little daughter right here. Her name is Lydia June.
She's 8 months today, and she's really cute, but we couldn't bring her because she's really needy of our attention as well. So she's really like her. Yeah. She's at the age where she's like trying to crawl and get into everything. So yeah, it's great. It's exciting. Try to put her in a box and keep her in there, but she's very hands-on. Angel will play later. Yeah. So well, what we're doing now. Right now we're teaching in Yali County. Is anyone Yali's lesson? Okay, cool. Well, a little bit about what we do in Yali. What do we do?
We're in a little bit of a unique situation in Yali. So we're at the English Teaching Resource Center, or ETRC. You'll hear that little phrase thrown out because there's an ETRC in many different counties in Taiwan. And so it has changed every year that we've been there. But this last year, we ended up teaching at probably about 100 different schools in Yali County in total. And that includes English Village, where they come to us. But we also travel to a lot of remote schools, in addition to the schools that we visited consistently every week. And so we've taught a wide variety of students who are very high level and students who've never spoken with a foreigner before. And so, but right now, we're teaching at an elementary/junior high, mostly elementary level. I dabble in junior high as well, but for the most part, we're teaching elementary students.
We're going to talk about CLIL. This is what we were thrown into last semester, and we were like, oh, okay, cool. You want us to teach like art and music the whole year? And they're like, yeah, we want you to teach grade 1 and grade 2. So they don't teach them like out of an English textbook, just teach them arts, and then Brendan just taught them music. And that went really great for like the first month, and then you're like, this is hard. Because this is so over their heads, because they don't know any English. And Brendan is not musically like, oh, I know everything.
I'm not a music teacher.
And like, I like art, but I'm like, I don't know how much I like art with, how many kids? 120 kids every week, and you're like, what do I do with 120 kids? And I have 5,000 NT dollars for the whole school year. You're like, materials was really hard. So you're just like, pulling things like, and borrowing things from your teachers. It's really difficult. So we'll get into more of like the struggles and the pros and cons of CLIL. Okay. But if you're interested, like you can Google CLIL, and it's basically teaching different subjects in English where they're good at.
So these are some of the classes that we have taught. Lien taught art classes. I taught a design class that was with junior high students there. They called it an art class, but it wasn't like a drawing class. It's more like design. I'll go into that a little more later. I also did music. We had both done PE as well. I did it at the junior high level. She taught at the elementary level.
Second, third grade.
And then, not us, but one of our colleagues, she taught a computer science / technology class. I think the main thing she did there was teaching them how to use Microsoft Excel, but in kind of creative ways, not just, for finance. So one of the big questions maybe you'll have is how is it different? How is it different than just teaching in a normal English class? One of the big things is you don't have a book that you have to get through. Oftentimes, one of the complaints that teachers have is, oh, I have to get through the book. I only have 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever for each unit, and then they have to take a test, and then you have to move on to the next unit because you have to get through the entire book. And it can be a lot of pressure for normal English classes. Not every school is like that, but it's a pretty common thing in regular English classes that you have to get through a book. But in these club classes, you don't have to get through a book, which is really nice, but it makes planning a little more difficult for you. No pressure from tests. So we never had to get them any tests. That was really nice. They don't have to get a 98 or 99, 100. You don't have to be forced to, or they don't have to be forced to memorize different vocabulary just so that they can do well on the test or sense patterns. Freedom to design your own activities. Now that can be a blessing and a curse depending on how you are as a teacher, what your kind of personality is. For me, most of the time, I really like it, but sometimes it's kind of nice to have a structure that's already kind of laid out for you. So it kind of depends again on what you like. And then limited to just the subject. You can stretch it a little bit, but it can be sometimes, for me, like I said earlier, I'm not a music teacher. I'm not one that's musically inclined, and so for me to be thrown into music classes was quite a struggle for me at first. I loved it at first actually, but then after a month I was like, okay, I've exhausted my knowledge of music. So what do I teach now? Kind of thing. And so it can be a struggle. It can be hard. Because I'm like, oh, I can't just, go on to reading books. I can't go on to just, playing some kind of sport activity. It's a music class, is what I was subjected to.
But you were lucky because you worked with an actual music teacher. Like, the school sent him his co-teacher was the music teacher from all the other grades, right?
Yeah, so that was very helpful. And he was very musically inclined, a very great musician. He could play, a dozen different instruments. He had a really good voice. And so we worked really well together in that sense.
I was fortunate because I got to work with every grade 1 and grade 2's homeroom teacher, which means classroom management was always on point because homeroom teachers use them all day long. They know how to control their students, right? And they know who to help and when to help. So I think the pro of mine. But, like I said, resources. Yeah.
Right, so these are some of the problems that we've run into. One of them was co-teaching with the whole idea of the homeroom teacher. So all of the club classes I taught with were with the subject teachers. So the art, the design, and the PE teachers. So it could be great in that they know the subject really well. But only one of my teachers, no, 2 of my teachers, co-teachers, spoke any English. The others didn't speak any English. And so that could be quite the struggle learning how to communicate with your co-teacher who might not speak any English or very, very limited English. Sometimes, most likely, they probably have never worked with a foreign English teacher before. So they don't know how to work with you either. It's a new experience for both of you. And then Lien, she worked with the homeroom teacher.
Yeah, they know the students, but they don't necessarily know English. It's okay. But sometimes I find that to be frustrating because I would give instructions in English, and then they take it and they completely do it in Chinese, and the kids are just like, oh, okay. And then they get it, right? But then I'm finishing the art project or like finishing their craft and not gluing each other with, putting glue all over everywhere. So I guess I don't know, it's just what they wanted to accomplish. But we finished these eventually. Yeah. Okay.
Another issue with co-teaching is it's not always very clear who's in charge. Like who is the teacher in charge and who is the co-teacher that's as an assistant. It's something that needs to be established in the beginning. Who's going to be in charge and who's going to be kind of as the assistant, or if you're going to kind of mix it up throughout the semester or the year. It's something that needs to be talked about. Because in normal English classes, we tend to come in and we're the boss, we're the ones that kind of come up with all the ideas. It tends to happen that way. Not necessarily, but it tends to happen that way. So that's just another issue that we can potentially run into. Curriculum development. So this is, you don't have a clear teaching path. Like when I was teaching music classes, I didn't know what I was going to teach, the next month, even the next week sometimes, what musical theory idea am I going to cover? I didn't know. And like I said, unless, you are a music teacher, or unless you are, someone who's very gifted with art and has a lot of experience with that, if you're thrown into a class like this, or if you're thrown into a PE class, like, what do you do? Like, do you just make kids run around in circles kind of thing? You don't have a clear path. So that could be an issue that you can run into. Also, difficulty keeping it fresh as well. Instead of using the same activities, the same ideas over and over again. That can be kind of a struggle as well. With music class, I used a lot of super simple songs. That was my go-to at the beginning, but then it kind of got a little stale after a little while. And so, just how do you break out of that rut that you're in? Kind of liven it up for the students in different ways. It could be an activity that they really enjoy, but after you've done it 3 weeks in a row, it gets really boring for the students. How do you kind of liven it up? That could be a difficulty as well. Okay, I'll go over this one as well. Just kind of keeping a balance between, we're English teachers, so naturally we are going to want to teach English. Right? We're going to want to go over, vocabulary or sentence patterns, give lots of time to practice, to really absorb the English. And there's periods where we didn't get into a whole lot of music. So that's what I mean by overemphasizing one or the other. Or there's a couple classes where the music teacher, he came up to me, he's like, okay, I need to go over this with them. And I'm like, okay, great. And then there's no English in that class. Without thinking about it at a time, it can kind of go swing one way or the other. So just kind of keep that in mind if you have any of these classes right there, how to keep it kind of balanced between, it's a music class, so they need to learn music, not just English, but they also want to learn English at the same time.
Right, and I was like, I wish I could just give them a piece of paper and crayons and be like, okay. Because, he has to constantly do these activities, and his class is so loud and happy, and my class is just quiet and doing things. It's kind of nice. So art is good. But the supplies is a big struggle. Like I said, the school gave me $5,000 for the entire school year, and I didn't have an art classroom to my disposal. I didn't use any of their supplies most of the year. There were a couple times where we did some painting. I was like, can I go to the art room and use the classroom? Even just the setup was a lot easier. Because a lot of my classes, all the students were sitting in rows, and they all had, mostly had their art box, with markers, scissors, the basic things. So I had to buy a lot of the watercolors and papers, and if I wanted to do anything, it was really difficult because supplying all these students every week was difficult, and keeping it usable, reusable is also hard. And then instruments, you didn't have access to instruments.
Yes, I So I came into this semester not knowing what I was doing. I met up with my co-teacher, the music teacher, and one of the first things he told me was that first and second graders, they don't play any instruments here. They don't start learning instruments until third grade. So I'm like, oh great, we can't play drums or anything like that. And so we ended up I was stretched out and having do some drumming and stuff like that. And we'll go into a little more of that later. But yeah, I didn't have access to all of the music supplies. And at my school there was actually 2 music teachers, and oftentimes the music classroom that had all the instruments was being used. And so I couldn't just alright, let's go up to the music classroom today. Kind of thing. I had to be planning well in advance, which can be frustrating.
Well, now let's leave some positive. Okay, so these are going to go through some things that worked and maybe that could help you. Okay. So in my art classes, I felt like the ones that were most successful were the ones where I built up to the art lesson, not just here's what I made and you will replicate it or try to do something similar to this, right? So what I did was I took storybooks, various storybooks throughout the semester, and I would tell them a story, do some vocabulary build-up and review, and play a review game, and then just constantly make them speak and try to give this art project a purpose. Because why am I making this? What's the point, right? And then that just also took time, so I didn't have to constantly every week bring in new supplies. It was just one art project could take 4 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on the class. I also taught grade 1 and then also grade 2, and the grade 2 students just finished these faster. So I was like, okay, these are done, so I have to think of another project for these other kids while these kids are still finishing. So it was kind of fun balance. Okay. I started off with this book called Press Here, and it went through primary colors. Do you guys know the author? It's a good book. It's good, it's interactive, they can touch it, and it goes into different pages. Different holidays, I would use this one for Haunted House, and this is these are just some books. This is another Halloween related book. Going on the Leaf Hunts, Rainbow Fish. I love you for Mother's Day. I could have eaten more before we started painting things. Gucci for different animals. And these are some of the crafts that we did throughout the semester. Hi.
Did you do the PowerPoint book, or how did you do it?
I put them into a PowerPoint.
You scanned them.
I scanned them. And I'm going to go through Rainbow Fish because Rainbow Fish is a great story and the kids did a really cute craft. But if you look at Rainbow Fish and try to introduce it for grade 1 and grade 2 students, it's in paragraphs. So just the first page is not paragraphs, but really long, lengthy sentences. So I'll show you the PowerPoint that I made where it's more simplified and a lot easier, and even then it was just, we'll do that later. Okay, so Chinese New Year, they made a little piggy thingy. Halloween, they made a mask. The lantern, they made lanterns. They made their faces in little elves things that could move. That took a long time. The leaf, when they went on the leaf hunt thing, they went outside and gathered leaves, and then they came back and they made it into different animals or just different pictures of they made it into a boat, car, just create something with the leaves. This took forever. Guess how long this took? I don't want to talk about it. It was so long. There were 8 strips of each color, and they had to move them, right? And you're wow, this is a lot harder than I thought. So looking back, I should have made it 5 strips of each color and woven it instead of 8, because it's so much for their heads. Yeah. And then they made little eggs to go into the basket, also on the paper. They had clay. I found a box. We work at the ETRC, so there's a library full of resources, and there's just boxes and boxes of these clay thingies that have never been touched. So I was I'm going to use these, and then they just made little clay people, snowmen. This is the rainbow fish. Dragon boat, they made little jet boats and they raced them. They painted a haunted house. This is their first experience with watercolor. Pretty good actually. And made little castles of dragons and unicorns and they throughout the semester. This is a dollar, and I first approached my teachers with this, and they're like, oh, it's too difficult, they can't do it, they can't do it. But by the end of the semester, I'm like, I think they can do it. And they did it. But here's some of their work. So they did a stamping project where they took cardboard like paper and they like cut it out and they made their own stencil and then they had the real paint and then they stamped what they made. So this is a rocket. This is a cuckoo flying thing. The little girl made that. She was so proud. She was like, I was like, what is it? She's like, it's cuckoo. And it can fly. And she was so excited. And then they like decorated it, right? And then this is a bird and they did really well with this. And then this is a little, she made it herself. And it's a little stamp person. So then you can just, do these. Here's what they did. So I gave them like different sized cups and, circular things. And I just sort of like, just do what you want and make it like a pattern, and they drew it, and they did so good. And then they did watercolor. Oh, sorry. That's first grade. First and second. But isn't it awesome? Like, it's really awesome. And then like at the beginning, the teacher's like, no, they can't do it. It's too hard. Maybe just let them color it. And I'm like, why would they? But they can do it. Give them credit. That's what I learned when you're doing art. Like, give the kids more credit than what you think they can do. They're like, they can't draw circles. I'm like, but they can trace circles. They can make circles within circles, and then they can draw other things. But they did really well. I was really proud of them. This is one of my best students. She did everything really fast and really great. But there's like others that just did really well too. Brendan and I did an English club together, and our students read Jack and the Beanstalk, and we gave them like a red bean, green bean, and like you just wrap it with water, like with the tissue paper, and the bean will sprout. And so it went with Jack and the Beanstalk, and then they saw like which bean will grow faster or like taller within the week. And then there's a few beans that didn't grow. The kids were like, why didn't it grow? So we had to like give the beans like the next week to like. But yeah, they got to take it home, and it was really cool because like it was in our classroom, and they could see it sprouting, and just like.
We just taped it up to the window, like one of these windows right here. We just taped everyone's up with their name on it, and they got to see it. Next week they got to see it. Like, oh look, it grew so
grows
much.
really fast, so it's really. Yeah, we're like, look, I don't plant that, but it probably not. This is rainbow fish. So I had worked with an art teacher. I was in 2 different schools doing art, and one school gave like all the kids like little fishies and like with sequins. And the other school gave me not a whole lot, but you do what you can, what you have. So this is like little pieces of foil, and then they put glitter on top of it to make it sparkly. But rainbow fish had a lot of fun. They like they shared their little things together, and they just scanned. And even like some of my slower kids like really enjoyed it because it had like a purpose behind it. And then with leftover paint, I got to paint. No waste. All right.
Do you
Before we
want
go
to
into
go
these,
rainbow?
yeah, I'll do rainbow fish. So one of our So in our ETRC, we work with Tara and Jason is like one of the teachers, and he loves like making his PowerPoints really complicated, and I'm like looking at it like that gives me a headache almost. But he taught me how to like make things animated and move, so you'll see fishes moving. It's not the best, it's not perfected, I just kind of threw it together, but we'll see. So first, rainbow fish, and then we go through vocabulary. Here's the words that I want the kids to know throughout the book, right? So this one, blue. This one, ocean. This one, colors. This one, red. This one, scales. This one, sad. This one, look. Starfish, octopus. And most of these they already know, or if they don't know the English, we'll tell them. Okay. So basically, scales were many colors. Oh, and then we go through the colors. What color is it? Blue, red, green. Oh, you're so smart. Yeah, here, come here, fish. Look at him with all his colors. Okay. Then Jason, if I had time, Jason would teach me how to like add the voices into things or like sounds. And I'm like, I don't have time right now. But kids get it. And they're like, oh, it's so beautiful. Okay. Now, all the other fish loved it. All the other fish were amazed at him. They would say, wow, wow. Then you insert things like GIFs. And they're like, oh, okay. All the fish love this one fish because of his sparkliness. He's so pretty. Okay. And then they're like, oh, so beautiful. And then the bird it's a rainbow. Okay. Anyway. Now, they keep going, and then they're like, oh, please, 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 please. What? Come and play. Let's be friends. Oh, and the big fish is like, I don't have time for this. I'm too pretty. And the kids say, no, fish feel, how do they feel? And the kids think, like, why doesn't this pretty fish want to be our friend? How do they think? And rainbow fish did nothing. He was too beautiful for them, so he just left. And then there's this little blue trying to chase after him, right? One day, a little blue fish followed him. Oh, here he goes. Blue fish. And then you make the voices, make them loud. Please give me one of your shiny scales. Do you guys know this story? No? Oh. Okay. Ah, the octopus is there listening. What will he say, right? Ha ha ha, never, get away from me. You want on my beautiful scales? No! And so he's sad. So sad, he's crying. The little blue fish cried. He was so sad, he told his friend. So here's all his friends. Oh, no, what happened? What's wrong? Oh, what did you do? Okay, so bad rainbow fish. Mean rainbow fish. Ugly rainbow fish. All the other kids, they should this. Okay, I get it, okay. The next day, no one liked rainbow fish. No one wanted to be friends. Rainbow fish is confused. I'm so sad. No one wants to be my friend. No one wants to be friends. No one wants to look at me anymore. Do you know why? Starfish. She asked the starfish first. This is the story. Okay, so he asks, he's like, I don't know why. Ask the octopus. He goes to the octopus. He's asking. So it's like a repetition, right? I'm so sad. I love blah, blah, blah. Okay. Do you know why, octopus? And octopus says, yes, I do. I heard everything. You are not nice to the other fish, and you said no to the little fish. So this is where the co-teacher is really great, because this is a lot of text and there's a lot of like words, but then she can translate it to the kids, for the ones that don't follow or aren't understanding. Okay. And then, oh no, what can I do? Okay. And then, so he gave the little fish a scale, and he's like, ooh, so pretty. And then rainbow fish gave one scale to every fish in the ocean, and everyone said, and then, this is, some kids created a potion, and then the review game was this, A, B, C, D. It's really simple, A, B, or C. And then this looks in, it is rainbow fish. What color is it? It's red, it's yellow, it's blue. What color is it? Blue. See, it's like really basic, but it like reiterates like what you're going to have.
So, rainbow fish, how long that does it take? How many weeks?
Oh, rainbow fish. The story itself took about one period, one 40-minute lesson, and then we reviewed it. The second class, we did the review game at the beginning just to remember like the vocabulary a lot. And then they did the craft. So it was about 4 or 5 weeks, 4 or 5, 40-minute period. I only saw them once a week. But see, this is the beauty of it. Otherwise, I would have just given them a fish and they'd be like, oh, okay. And some kids, they don't like art, so they'll color and they'll be like, I'm done in like 5 minutes. And you're like, right, but I need you to do this for 2 more classes, right? So it's just one of those things where you just have to, do this. So we go over like supplies that they need, colors. I tried glitter and only did it once in the school year. I think the teachers were appreciative. It's glitter stuff. It goes with you and it goes with them. It's just, but it's sparkly and they really liked like dipping it in and like putting it out, like, oh my gosh, it's so shiny. But it was cool. We used foil for some of my second graders. Used foil. My first graders didn't really understand how to like get the foil on. But it was fun. That's rainbow fish. I also have the different book. This is, I have a lot of books. I use a lot of books for lessons. This is who's the monster? Like, are you a monster kind of thing? And it's like, no, I'm this and this. And there's a PowerPoint for it. But this book is great because it's also in Chinese. Do you want to see it? There's time.
So this is a really jazzed up version of a book. It takes time to do that. If you want a simpler version, all you have to do is just scan it and put it on the PowerPoint. And then one of the recommendations that Lien, I just want to emphasize that Lien made, was to simplify the text. Just like take a white text box in PowerPoint and cover the original words, unless you really do like the words that are in the book. And then just kind of simplify it, make up your own story. Whatever kind of works for what you need.
Option 2, choose books that also have Chinese and English. This is one of them. There's a monster. Come and play a monster game. And this is all in Chinese, and they could be the Chinese. Then who's the monster? And then they're like, I don't know, who's the monster? They love gist. They love gist. And then they're like, I don't know. And then they say, are you a monster? And then he says, no, not me. So they ask this thing, are you the monster? He says, no, not me, I'm a pirate. And then they go, ooh, a pirate, I'm not scared. So they have to use this sentence. Okay. Are you the monster? Not me, I'm a nurse. And then they learn the word nurse. Oh, a nurse? I'm not scared. Nurses aren't scary. And then, are you the monster? No, are you? I'm a mouse hiding. A mouse? I'm not scared. And then he goes through this. Are you the monster? And then I have them guess. Is it the monster? If not, what is it? What do you think this is? A frog? It has 3 eyes. Spider. Spider? Okay. And no, not a cowboy. Right? And then they're like, a cowboy? I'm not scared. And then, monster, monster. That must be you. So this was great because I had the kids all stand up and they would practice the sentence pattern with their classmates, and they go to the person and they say, are you a monster? And they say, no, I'm not a monster. And they say their name. I'm Silly, or I'm Susie. Okay, and then they're like, no, I'm not scared, you're Susie. And then, no, not me. Okay, so then, are you, and it goes back to the story. Are you a monster? What is this? Octopus, yeah, a lot of people guess that. But no, I'm an astronaut. There you go. An astronaut, I'm not scared. Okay, and then, are you the monster? Cat, yes. Very awesome. I'm a cat, I'm not scared. And then they get to watch this little clip of the cat dancing, and they're like, oh, that's scary. Are you the monster? You think this is a monster? Barks. Hi. No, it's a princess. His guy's queen or king, and I'm like, close. Okay. Princess, I'm not scared. Okay, and are you a monster?
It's Batman.
It's Batman. No. Okay, so then in the story, it's a little grr. Yes, I'm a monster. A green monster boy. Is it really a monster? No, it's boy dressed as a monster. And there's a munching noise. So it's like, what is it? It's me, I'm the real monster, and I'm hungry, and the kids are scared. It's time to go to bed. And then I review it with the story where we just go back to the book, and they're like, okay, and they have to remember who was this one. What was the first one? Pirate. What was the second one? Nurse. You guys are too smart. And the third one. And the kids can get, like one by one, they raise their hands, like they come up and they get to guess. And this one is a mouse. And then this one is a cowboy. So So you can see how you could like use the book review. After this, they made masks that were scary masks. And then basic. But had I just given them a mask, 40 minutes, maybe 2 40-minute classes. But with the book, I dragged them all. You know, it's great. Use books. I love
Makes
books.
lesson planning fantastic.
Yes. There's so many books. If you guys need books that have been already on PPT, you can email us. Brandon also needs amazing. That will help. Yeah, okay. Alright, more to music. That.
Alright, yes, back to music. So these are some of like the music theory things that we cover in music class. Beat and rhythm. Mostly the beat, not as much the rhythm. Do, re, mi. That's one of the things that they're given a music book, and that's one of the things that they have to cover in their music book is do, re, mi, which works out really well for English as well. The music alphabet, you know, the letters A through G, because those are the musical notes. We did the entire alphabet, but I focused, for the most part, I focused on A through G. So I was teaching it to first and second graders. Some of them have gone to Bushiban or to the cram schools, and so they already know how to write in English. Probably about 2/3 of my students couldn't write. They couldn't write, well, they could copy. Like if they see the letter A, they could copy the letter A. But if I told them to write, you know, the letter C, you know, only about, you know, maybe 1/3 of them, maybe half of the class could actually write it, kind of thing. So I spent a lot of time going over that with them. The common music time signatures, like 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. These are all things that I mean, I was vaguely familiar with, but I had to learn, like, you know, the different time signatures. It didn't take too long, just kind of going through Google, and asking my co-teacher different things, asking him to kind of demonstrate certain things. And dynamics, I'll go into. So dynamics is, for example, if you're listening to a song and it starts, you know, really low, and then it just starts to build up crescendos into something loud, and same, I mean, the reverse is true, something that goes really loud, it just, you know, I practice that with the students as well. I had a really fun game to go along with that. Actually, we'll kind of start with that. So, peanut butter and jelly. There's a song, it's called Peanut Butter and Jelly. It's super easy, it's really catchy. How many of you have heard this song before? Yeah? It's like, peanut butter and jelly. Yeah. And then, so I would go over some of the things that they needed to know. So this is actually, I taught this song for a couple of weeks. For most songs, I didn't teach more than 2 or 3 weeks. There's a couple of songs where I only taught one time, just one class period. It just didn't go over well with the students. It's either too easy or too difficult, so I just kind of abandoned it after 1 week. But this is the song I did for a few weeks. They really enjoyed it. I was able to get a lot of real fun activities out of it. And just a lot of repetition. Just practicing the song over and over again. And it takes a lot of creativity to listen to the same song over and over and over again. I mean, maybe if it's a song you really like, but these kids' songs it's really fun, really fast to me. And so I have to come up with ways to make it interesting. So first I go over, you know, different vocabulary, quiet. Make sure they all know what quiet is. I use a lot of pictures in my classes, just a lot of very simple pictures. So they all understood quiet. Loud, I had them practice being really loud, they love doing that kind of thing. Especially, there's always at least one kid in the class who loves to be really loud, and at this point they'll just scream. And then you kind of have to go back to, okay, what's this? Quiet. And everyone just goes back to quiet. Then I go over the vocabulary in this song. So this song has a lot of vocabulary, and that's why it took me several weeks. But they kind of picked it up little by little. Peanut butter, jelly, peanuts, and then bread, gravy sandwich. And then I have all the pictures again, I review it again, make sure they they all kind of understand it. And then for this particular activity that I'm about to demonstrate, they've already known the song pretty well, so they're pretty comfortable with singing it. Most of the students are. So then, yeah, I have the words pop up. And I taught first and second graders, so only about a third of these kids could read the words right here. But I put it up just to kind of give a lot of them the practice, the extra practice. Get familiar with reading, because that's something they're going to really start into in third grade. And then, again, I would show them the pictures and gifs and crack them, right? So part of the song is, first you take the peanuts and you crack them, you crack them, you crack them, crack them, crack them. And I have them practice it, and I think it's really funny when it goes crack them, crack them, crack them. And I mean, some of their pronunciations of it is really bad, but it's really funny, it makes me laugh. So. I mean, I enjoy that part right there, but it's like an enjoyable environment. I'm not like, seeing the kids not laughing. It's just kind of, they all kind of laugh. We're all kind of laughing together. And then this one, like, I'll demonstrate it, and then the next verse it goes, then you take the peanuts and you smash them, you smash them, you smash them, smash them, smash them. And then they have to, I'm just kind of making sure they understand, with pictures and gifs, that they understand what it is. And for some of these like more complex ones, I would have it definitely translated into Chinese. For some of the simpler ones, I wouldn't bother with Chinese. And then you take the bread and you spread it, you spread it, you spread it, spread it, spread it. I always had some kind of action. I tried to have some kind of action with it, even if it wasn't a dance, it was just an action. It helped a lot of the students a lot, for memory's sake. And then you take the grapes. Oh yeah, kind of creepy, right? It's funny. Then you take the grapes and you pick them, you pick them, you pick them, right? Then you take the grapes and you squish them. And this one the kids are like, yeah. It's like, okay, do you want to eat it? And I go, no. There's always like one or two kids who are like, yes. And I'm like, okay, come here. And I bring that kid up to the fry. I'd have some grapes, and I would smash the grapes, and then they would try to eat them. And they'd be like, no. I was like, okay, I wouldn't actually give it to them to eat, but they always come out with this. And then again, take the bread and spread it. And then this one is you take the sandwich and you eat it. I like the gist. And then the very end parts, they go, It's like yummy, right? Like all sorts of vocabulary language you can pull out of this. That's why it can take several weeks. Just even as you're lesson planning, you don't think of everything that you can pull out of it until like you're actually in, you're teaching it, and you're like, oh, I can teach this, I can teach that.